Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry not to be able to share my screen. Anyway, my presentation is about the International Day of Social Justice and the paths of peace. The International Day of Social Justice aims to highlight how development and social justice are indispensable for maintaining peace and security, both between states and at the national level. However, the anniversary also aims to remind that without peace and security and respect for all human rights and the fundamental freedoms, development and social justice cannot be achieved. These factors are a priority for the United Nations. The International Labour Organization, ILO, on 19 June 2008, unanimously adopted the ILO Declaration on Social Justice for a Fair Globalization. This is the third major declaration on principles and policies adopted by the International Labour Conference since the ILO Constitution of 1919. Through the text of the historic document, governments and organizations of 182 member states emphasize the key role of the ILO in contributing to progress and social justice in the globalized world. Their aim is to strengthen the ILO's capacity through the decent work agenda to advance these goals. The UN General Assembly recognizes that globalization and interdependence are opening up new avenues, both through trade, investment, and capital flows, and through technological advances to stimulate global economic growth, development, and improved living standards around the world. However, at the same time, major challenges remain, such as financial crisis, insecurity, poverty, exclusion, and inequality, both within and between societies, and significant obstacles to further integration and full participation in the global economy for developing countries, as well as some countries with economies in transition. The theme chosen by the United Nations to celebrate the 2025 Day will focus on strengthening a just transition for a sustainable future. This year's event takes on special significance as the world prepares for the Second World Summit for Social Development, WSSD2. As the global community faces unprecedented challenges from climate change, economic transitions, and social inequalities, the event will explore how inclusive policies can ensure that climate action leads to more and better jobs, reduces inequalities, and fosters sustainable development. Key topics for discussion include the role of macroeconomy policies and trade frameworks in ensuring inclusive economic growth, climate resilience, and social justice. Strategies for an equitable transition to a low-carbon, job-rich economy, particularly in sectors such as renewable energy, critical minerals, and green infrastructure. innovative financing mechanisms to support low-income and climate-vulnerable countries in transitioning to sustainable economies. The importance of social protection systems, education, and skills development in preparing workers for the emerging green economy is another possibility, no? Another key topic. The event will also emphasize the multi-stakeholder collaboration, leveraging the global coalition for social justice to align the efforts of governments, businesses, trade unions, and civil society. Over the past 10 years, we have witnessed the proliferation of digital platforms which have penetrated many sectors of the economy of societies. This year's commemoration supports the effort of the international community engaged in solutions aimed at achieving sustainable development. In this regard, the day aims to promote dialogue with the member states, United Nations agencies, and other stakeholders in concern with closing the digital divide, providing decent work opportunities, and protecting labor and human rights in the modern age of digital technology. I am finishing. We cannot talk about social justice without pointing the finger at the dichotomies of our society, the inequalities in place, not to mention the ongoing wars and even genocides in progress. The very definition of social justice refers to the goal of creating a society that is fair and balanced in terms of distribution of wealth, equal opportunities and privileges, and in which each individual sees his rights recognized and protected. To conclude, does all exist even in the so-called democratic countries? I believe that the current situation in the world is highly discouraging, and I see social justice increasingly difficult to achieve. Without it, the much wanted peace becomes more and more a chimera. Finish it. Thank you so much. Sorry, not able to share. Not able to share my PowerPoint. I worked so hard yesterday night. Okay, it's okay.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
thank you so much, Dr. Ash Franca. Thank you so much, Dr. Ash Franca, for your insightful and thought-provoking presentation on social justice and the path of peace. We are so grateful. Please, can we give her a round of applause? Show her some love in the chat box. And just to say that, Dr. Ash, your reflections have illuminated the deep connections between justice and lasting peace. And for me, it is a reminder that true harmony can only be achieved where there is fairness, equality, and human dignity are upheld. So we truly appreciate your time, wisdom, and dedication to this crucial cause. And so your words will undoubtedly inspire us as we continue this important conversation. Now, moving on, we are going to the next speaker for the day. And I'm going to be introducing our brother, Arogbonlo Israel. And Israel is a renowned journalist, peace ambassador, and of course, a humanitarian from Kogi, north central Nigeria, who has dedicated his life to advocating for societal change and promoting human rights. With a degree in mass communication from Kogi State University, Nigeria, Israel has leveraged his skills to establish the mission for better life in slums initiative, which of course has been able to provide essential educational materials, empowering children and supporting vulnerable communities. His selfless efforts have earned him a recognition including the prestigious President's NYSC Honors Award and the Dr. D.K. Olukua First Class. So, as a champion of social change, Israel's vision and passion inspires others to contribute to a more inclusive and compassionate society. So today, he would be presenting to us on the topic Global Citizenship, Breaking Down Barriers to Achieve Human Rights and Sustainable Development for All. And so, if Israel, you're listening to me right now, can you unmute your microphone and actually share with us on this salient topic that is going to actually give us another dimension to the celebration, uh, the celebration today to mark the Social Justice Day. Welcome, Israel.
Thank you so much, Rose. It's an honor to be here addressing us on the occasion of the World Day of Social Justice. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. It's an honor also to be here. I also want to appreciate Dr. Nikki and also the Global Peace Let's Talk International for this opportunity. I have a speech already. I retitled it as Global Citizenship, a Catalyst for Human Rights and Sustainable Development. As we all gathered today, I think it's important that we understand that despite the immense challenges that we face in the world today, from the devastating impact of climate change to the persistent inequalities that plague our societies, it is clear that a global community requires bold and collective action. And I don't know if you can hear me. Am I audible?
Audible 5 on 5, Israel, right on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, in the context today, I am going to introduce us to what I call, global citizenship, and how we can leverage this concept, to ameliorating peace to some of the crises that we face in the world today, making reference to the Ukraine and Russian war, and also Israel and Gaza war. And of course, there have been a lot of interventions to see how they can make a final resolution and broker peace. But it's important that we understand that global citizenship, focuses on our individual and national interests, and these are inextricably linked to the well-being of our global community. So what this means is if we can leverage global citizenship, we'll be able to provide solutions to conflicts that we have around us. So it is not about personal interest. It is both personal and and national interest, bringing all together to ensure that we advocate for peace. And it's also built on the foundation, of respect, human rights. I think today, like never before in history, a lot of human rights abuses in the world, not only in Africa, we also have it in developed worlds, and it's important that we understand that this also affects, the livelihood of people around, and it does affect the respect that we have for humanity. And it's important that when we adopt global citizenship, we should be able to, have a critical role to play in promoting peace around us. And not only promoting peace, we can also, prioritize human rights as an advocate. And we should also ensure that we promote sustainable development. And that's why I'm so passionate about, these sustainable development goals. And we have targets of 2030 here in Nigeria, to achieve these global goals. So as an advocate, I think it's important that in your capacity that you occupy, your small, space, you can also advocate. I think it's not, there's this mindset that you don't need to become a leader, in quotes, like a president, to make a change. The change, starts with you. So whatever you're going to be doing, you should ensure that it's contributing to global peace, contributing, to making the world a better place for all. So with all this, I think we can now have a solution to whatever we are, going through across our communities, because global citizenship would also encourage what I call cultural diversity. If in fact we can leverage this cultural diversity to become our unity. I don't think we need to fight because we are not from the same tribe or we are not from the same country, because we are all unique in our own way. So we can come together united and able to make a change. Lastly, I urge everyone that's listening to me to embrace global citizenship so that we can build more just and equitable world for all. A world where individuals have access to quality education, where individuals have access to healthcare and economic opportunities, where there's what fairness and where there's what equity. Thank you.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so very much, Israel. That has been a very powerful and enlightening presentation there. And your insights have actually highlighted the importance of unity, inclusivity, and collective responsibility in building a world where human rights and sustainability are not just ideals, but realities for everyone. So we truly appreciate your contribution to this vital discussion, and your words will certainly inspire us to take action in our own communities and beyond. Please, can we give him some flowers in the chat room? Can we give him a round of applause, some hearts, please, for this mind-blowing presentation? Thank you so very much, Israel. We're hoping to have you in subsequent events organized under the Global Peace Let's Talk. Thank you so very much. Can we show him some love? Because I actually learned a lot from his presentation, which I believe it's something that has brought us together for us to reflect, for us to take back lessons like this and serve as an example, not only in theory, but in action. Thank you very much. And now we will be welcoming the next speaker. And the next speaker is Miss Dinah Delarua Eugenio. Please, our host, can you help us to mute the microphones of those who are just joining us? If you join us, please just kindly mute your microphone. Our host, please kindly help us to monitor that. So without much ado, let me introduce Ms. Dinah Delarua Eugenio. She is a community mediator from Argentina. And Dinah is actually a mediator, and she actually is she studied negotiation and mediation at the negotiation program of Harvard Law School, community mediation and conflict resolution at the University of Buenos Aires, and the culture of peace at Transcend Peace University. For over 30 years, she has been working in trainings on conflict resolution, both in Argentina and abroad. She has developed her experience in community mediation and negotiation, and she also has worked as a community mediator and facilitator for the government of the city of Buenos Aires. And just to say that she's worked with indigenous people organizing events and trainings. She's an author, and she's equally has served as a leader to many groups, not only within Argentina, but abroad, like president of the Answer for Peace Association Argentina and the current member of board of directors and former president of the International Peace Research Association Foundation in the United States of America. I can go on and on, but because of time, I would be introducing the topic of our presentation, and this is around infrastructures of peace for social justice. Infrastructures for peace, of peace for social justice. So let me seize this opportunity on behalf of all of us on this virtual event today. Welcome Ms. Dinah, whom I will be requesting to take the floor from me to present to us in the next 10 minutes. Thank you, Ms. Dinah. You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be here with you. Well, when we talk about social justice, we talk about equal opportunities, access to rights, resources, and services in an equitable redistribution for a better world. But when we talk about infrastructures for peace, we refer to the systematic structures, mechanisms, resources, and institutions established to prevent violence, resolve conflicts, and promote sustainable peace at various levels of the society. These infrastructures help create a culture of peace by addressing the root causes of the conflicts, strengthening social cohesion, and ensuring that peace processes are locally owned and inclusive. They provide long-term institutionalized mechanisms to address the conflicts proactively rather than reacting to them only after the violence erupts. As Professor Johan Galtung said, for peace to be sustainable, it requires not only the absence of violence, but also the existence of structures that guarantee equity and human rights. As an example, a daily situation, we see that social networks define and redefine changes at high speed in a matter of hours. Any event anywhere on the planet is literally seen all over the world, and people who have no relation or knowledge about it give their opinions and judge in such a way that the information is confused with the personal opinion of whoever, generating polarizing and Manichaean situations, where the Galtung effect of the DMA system is clearly reflected. This system, DMA system, is dualism, Manichaeism, Armageddon. So we need some strategies to balance it. We need structures and infrastructures of peace to maintain and sustain our humanity, to be able to manage difficulties and conflicts with empathy and nonviolence. We need to support and strengthen civil society organizations, democratic movements, education for peace and human rights, equitable justice systems, historical memory and reconciliation systems, inclusive economic development, responsible media. The infrastructures for peace can sustain social justice, as we can see, in preventing conflict before it escalates, reducing the cost of violence and war, building local and national capacities for peace. For example, infrastructures empowers local actors through peace committees, conflict resolution training, and mediation programs. Also, promoting sustainable development or reducing dependence on military and security responses, because provides non-violence alternatives such as dialogue, mediation, peace education. We can see them also in strengthening social cohesion and trust, because fosters dialogue, reconciliation, and inclusivity, helping the society to heal from past conflicts, and by engaging different groups, including women, youth, religious leader, marginalized community, to have a sense of shared responsibility for peace. It also enhances justice and human rights because it ensures fair and inclusive governance, reducing feelings of injustice and marginalization. And it promotes restorative justice systems as truth commissions, etc., that help societies heal from past atrocities. So I think I must be brief here because I have no more time. We need to adapt peace strategies to specific local context. We have to build alliances between the state, the civil society, private sector. We need to strengthen trust in institutions. And above all of this, share and train conflict resolution skills for the whole society, not just leaders and reference, but literally everyone, generating an infrastructures of shared values and skills to resolve conflicts without violence. Peace infrastructures not only prevent conflicts, but also create more fair and sustainable societies. We cannot be naive. We must strengthen peace infrastructures in order to have real and significant social justice. Because as a conclusion, infrastructure for peace are critical for building resilient societies that can manage conflicts without resorting to violence. The infrastructure for peace provide a systematic long-term approach to peace, helping countries and communities create a culture of dialogue, inclusion, and coexistence. And that meets the goal of social justice that we celebrate today. Thank you.
Well, thank you so very much, Ms. Dinah. Thank you. We are so grateful. Please, can we show Ms. Dinah some love in the chat room? And I must say this particular topic touched me personally because social justice and infrastructure is those two terminologies are interconnected in such a way that if we talk about persons with disabilities and you talk about infrastructure, you talk about social justice, you start reflecting on how much this is actually being done actually in action in terms of different communities and this kind of vulnerable groups. So thank you very much, Ms. Dinah, for your insightful presentation on infrastructure of peace for social justice. Please, can we give her a round of applause? This is really, really an intriguing presentation, and we believe that your reflection have shed light on the essential frameworks and systems needed to sustain peace and ensure justice for all. And your expertise and passion on this topic are truly inspiring. We appreciate you very much. And we do not take this for granted, as it has added to the contribution to this important dialogue we are having today. Now we are moving on. Let Ms. Dinah warm her seat while we welcome another speaker, whom of course is also special and a well-known personality within the Global Peace Let's Talk, and he is none other than the Reverend Yu Bhatti. He is the founding president, A Better for All Canada, Pakistan Cooperation Circle for United Religion Initiative, and Yes Peace Promoters Pakistan, and board member Pakistan Outreach Foundation, United States of America. And he's international director, Canada, Lesson to Learn Foundation Canada, Peace Representative, World Peace Prayer Society, USA. He's also Love Ambassador for the Love Foundation USA. And last but not the least, Community Ambassador, Interfaith International, Global Peace Let's Talk, and the Global Peace Chain. And can you join me right now to welcome Reverend Yu Bhatti, as he will be speaking to us in the next maximum of 10 minutes on social justice in underdeveloped countries, needs and challenges. Social justice in underdeveloped countries, needs and challenges. I can't wait to hear you address us this afternoon or this evening, Reverend Yu. The floor is yours.
Well, greetings to everyone. It's my turn now.
Yeah, you're very audible.
Yeah,
five
yeah,
on
Rose,
five. You're welcome,
Rose,
Reverend Yu.
Rose, you are doing a wonderful job, and today is very important for all of us. I will emphasize on that social justice and peace underdeveloped country. Actually, There is many things we have to see that in the underdeveloped country, there are so many problems, so many things which are going to be, we have to focus on that. Meaning of the social justice is concept of fair and just relations between individuals and society. It focuses on equal access to opportunities, resources, and rights, ensuring all people, regardless of their background, and threatened with dignity and of fairness. Key principle of the social justice: equality. Providing sources and based on individual needs to create a fair opportunity, assesses, ensuring everyone has equal access to education. I will emphasize on the education, healthcare, and employment. Participation encourages all individuals to have a voice to decisions affecting their lives. Rights. Protection fundamental human rights, including freedom, equality, and justice. Diversity and inclusion, respecting and valuing differences in race, religion, gender, and cultures. In understanding developing countries, social justice is crucial to overcome poverty, discrimination, and inequality, ensuring sustainable peace and development. Would you like insight on specific challenges related to specific justice in these regions? So I am focusing on that region. Those are underdeveloping countries. There are certain, I will emphasize most of the problem in the underdeveloped country of poverty. Poverty, major issue in the underdeveloped countries, with many people struggling to meet basic needs like food, shelter, and healthcare. Inequality. High level of inequality in terms of wealth, education, and employment opportunities often exist, particularly between urban and rural area or among different social groups. Unemployment. A lack of access to decent work opportunity, especially for youth, women, and marginalized groups, often leads unemployment and the unemployment. Gender. Discrimination in many underdeveloped nations, women and the girls face discrimination in areas like education, health, and employment, lacking their social and economic mobility. Human rights, so very, very, very important violation. Human rights violation, people in some underdeveloped countries face violation of basic human rights, including lack of access to fair justice system, political reason, or violence. In advocate social protection, there is often limited access to social security system, health, and education, make it difficult for people to break out the cycle of poverty. On the World Day of Social Justice, these issues are brought to forefront to encourage action towards policies and forest equality, fair distribution of resources, and protection of human rights. International cooperation, improved governance, and sustainable development practice are often highlight as solution of creating a more just society in these countries. So I focus on that on underdeveloped countries. There are certain issues, but when we are together, we have to do our projects in a certain way, and you are doing. I give applause to everyone. I give to applause everyone. So I had our very dignitaries from Pakistan. That's Dr. Badr Munir from Indonesia, from Pakistan, and other people of my network. They are here. Now, Rose, I want to display a video of the source of education. What we are doing. We are doing not speaking only, but we are in a practical way, which you are also doing. Rose, can you play this or give me a post? So I will play little.
Yeah, Joseph is right on the line. I think he can do that for you.
Okay.
Joseph, is there a possibility of allowing Reverend you to play the I don't know if the audio or the video?
Pardon? Can you give me a sense? Hello?
Is
Can
that
you give me
possible, Joseph? I don't know
can
if
you
our technical team is available for that.
okay. So can I send you to the link?
It can only be sent to Joseph. If we could have if we could have that before this event, that would have been well.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So
We can
one thing
give
we
it
may
the
just
end.
do
It's
is
okay. Give me the chance, and we will talk with the Joseph also. So thank you so much, and happy. Uh, uh, Today is a very important day, and we all are over here. And thank you so much, Rose. God bless you all. All the
thank you. Thank you so
Excuse,
much. Thank you
excuse
so
me,
much.
excuse me, Roslyn. Okay, I would advise that Rex should just send the audio so that we can send later on WhatsApp,
Yeah, that's
so that
what
everyone
I
can see.
wanted to
Yeah.
say. That's what I wanted to
Okay,
say, Didan. Thank you very much. We want to request all of you who have just listened to Reverend Yu to actually appreciate his mind-blowing presentation in the chat room. Please, let's give him the applause, which is actually highly well in place. They are in order. Thank you so very much, Reverend Yu, for your insightful presentation on social justice in underdeveloped countries, needs and challenges, and your reflections, I believe, have brought to light the pressing issues that are faced by marginalized communities and the urgent need for sustainable solutions. We truly appreciate your wisdom and dedication to advocating for justice and equity in places where it is needed most. And we request you to share with us the video or the audio you are about to share. Unfortunately, we are sorry that that couldn't be possible during this live event. Of course, we still have this community together in our different platforms. So send it to us and we are going to have a feel of it and to share in our various GPLT social media platforms. Thank you very much, and thanks to all those who are appreciating our speakers for really giving us something to write home about, and that we can be able to use it to reflect on this day to mark the Social Justice Day. Now, we will be moving on to the next speaker, and the next speaker is none else than Marta Lescano, President of Fundación FEPAS, Argentina, Executive Director of Education at Global Peace Let's Talk International, based in the UK, Professor of Literature, Masters in Teaching, and she's also researcher at the University of Buenos Aires, Diploma in Human Rights, Diploma in Educational Neuroscience and Neurodidactics. And of course, not to mention that Martha is also the director of language and literature book collections. She's also an author of teaching materials, director of children's book collections, and she is more and more of these and more. So we are inviting Martha today to actually create awareness, educate us, and give us something to reflect on this day of social justice around the topic social justice and education for peace. This is definitely an area that she really masters, and so we are going to have a feel of how social justice is interconnected to the education for peace. So Martha, you're welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much, Rose and Nikki. Good afternoon from Argentina, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, I will share my PowerPoint. Okay. Can you see?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. Today, on this World Day of Social Justice, we reflect on the importance of fairness, equality, and human rights in building a just and peaceful world. What is social justice? Social justice seeks fairness, human rights, inclusion, and equal access to opportunities for all people, regardless of their background, gender, or condition. It differs from legal justice, which is based on laws. Instead, social justice aims to correct inequalities in education, health, and employment. Social justice and education. Education is key to achieving social justice. Without access to quality education, inequalities deepen. In many parts of the world, children cannot attend school due to lack of resources. At Global Peace Let's Talk and Fundación FEPAIS, we provide educational materials on art, environment, and coexistence to schools and communities in Africa and the other places. Because education is the foundation of justice. Social justice and restorative justice. Restorative justice focuses on recognizing and repairing harm, while also promoting dialogue and reconciliation. Social justice work structural equity, but it's connected to restorative justice. For example, in Argentina, we use restorative justice strategies in school and 6 judicial institutions to help people learn to resolve conflicts and take responsibility for their actions. Social justice and human rights. There is a direct link between social justice and human rights. Key principles include non-discrimination, dignity, and participation. We educate people about the 30 articles of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. We also train sustainable community promoters in Latin America and Africa to improve access to health, work, and education, because human rights are the foundation of a just society. Current challenges for social justice: poverty, forced migration, and discrimination prevent social justice worldwide. Millions of people have limited access to basic rights. There is a severe impact on vulnerable communities, especially in Latin America and Africa. We must educate schools and communities to solve problems and seek concrete solutions. Call to action. How can we contribute to social justice? By promoting fairness and respect in our daily lives, in communities, schools, and institutions. Education is universal. Values and non-violent communication is key to building fairer societies. On March 8, 2025, we will launch for training program for ambassador teachers in Global Peace schools. This is a flyer. For more information, then contact Global Peace. Let's talk. I want to say a reflection to close today. There can be non-peace without social justice. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you very much, Ms. Martha. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the presentation and the message, the key take-home messages in each slide. They were very powerful. And so thank you for your valuable insights on social justice and education for peace. Please, can we give her a round of applause? Give her her well-deserved flowers. That was quite succinct. And we actually celebrate your reflections, which have highlighted the critical role of education in fostering equality, understanding, and lasting peace. And we truly appreciate your time, Ms. Martha, and dedication to this important discussion. I see many people are eager to have a copy of your presentation. If we crave your indulgence, if you could just share it with us, and then we can be able to share it with the rest of the attendees of these events, and even in our social media or on our social media platforms. Thank you very much. That was succinct. That was really mind-blowing. That was something given to us to reflect further on what we can do for social justice. And like you said, there can be no peace without social justice, because social justice is even more pregnant than even the two words that we keep echoing today. Thank you very much, and we hope to have you in subsequent editions of our events connected to issues around peace, around inclusion, around education, and many other related areas. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Moving on, we are going to have the last but not the least speaker. And I will begin by introducing him, then I'll go straight away to his topic. And he is Professor George Onsi, and he is an Egyptian international thinker, a poet, an architect, an artist, a researcher, and former professor of art, architecture, history at Egyptian academies. And his outstanding works of poetry and art calling for a unifying universal spirituality have been published in his books. And moving on, he is a recipient of several awards. And to add to that, Mr. George is actually a famous peace ambassador, renowned advisor and jurist for 10 International Writers Union and festivals. He's writing in 6 languages, and George was nominated for Nobel Peace Prize by 300 writers worldwide. That's quite applaudable. He's also the founder, president of the International Peace Organization, and he's also published over 500 he's also published articles in over 500 journals worldwide. And we are so honored to have such a renowned personality, a renowned global personality among us. And he's going to be talking today to us on the topic, the mind shift our world needs to end the tragedy of human rights lost. The mind shift our world needs to end the tragedy of human rights lost. Let's actually welcome Professor George Onsi. It's an honor to have you share with us on this topic. Thank you. If Mr. George is listening to
yes,
me.
yes. Thank you very much for your introduction. Thanks a lot for this kind of introduction and for the wonderful speakers I am in. I think I'm learning from you. I'm not that big as you imagine. And I have the greeting from RRM3, our over 500 members of thinkers in Rinascimento Renaissance Millennium 3, the Peace Foundation we founded 3 years ago. And we have the pleasure that Dr. Nikki is our vice president, and Franca Colosso is our CEO, and we have among you some of our members. Thank you. Let me use the screen share now. If possible. Okay, are you able to see now? Hello? Are you able to
Yeah, we're able to see it.
Clear? Okay.
Yeah, clear,
very good.
Clear.
Okay,
All right.
first of all, I would like to say that there is a dynamic cycle between the world peace, human rights. So we can call it the world peace, human rights cycle. It's a dynamic cycle between both. Why? Because peacemaking is about conflict resolution and protecting human rights, resolve conflicts. So you can see simply how they are related together and work as a cycle. The second slide, I hope you are able to see it, the scope of human rights study. Well, it is an immense study, very wide, broad study that we can say its domains, the different areas, starting from theoretical distinctions, human rights, rights by beneficiary, other groups of rights. And then we cannot talk about human rights without mentioning the discrimination. whether discrimination of forms, attributes, social, religious, race, ethnicity, manifestations, policies, countermeasures, and all that things. I wouldn't get into details, but you are familiar with most of this, and you are also familiar with the Human Rights Declaration, which includes many articles. And one of the studies I refer to is putting them like this to ask ourselves, what are the basic inalienable human rights? Some of them are intersection, as you see. So freedom, equality, justice, dignity, well-being, definition, mind and spirit, influence, and all are here. Some of those articles of the Declaration of Human Rights cover both or intersect between both. So when we talk about the main things that the human rights intersect, we find that in this cycle, race, class, gender, education, culture, language, spirituality, religiosity are the main points for this, or main domains. When we talk about the history of human rights, it starts from 2342 BC and extend to our days in development. But the main areas of development could be studied through selected concepts and ideas, selected approaches and discipline, selected documents and documentations in general. We have three main ages: age of discovery and enlightenment, industrial and scientific innovation, then the post World War II and globalization. I referred to the history because from history and different figures in history, starting from Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, and Hume and others, the philosophy of human rights focuses on the natural law, or based on the natural law. They are trying to assimilate the human rights system to the natural law that we are living by. So also there are other approaches, which is the social contract and the interest theories. So between the natural law, the paradigm of natural law, or the model of natural law, to try to match our human rights work and movement to it, and to the interest theories, because it is, after all, the interest theory governs the connection between people and their society. Then I move to the promotion strategies that the United Nations, the other human rights work on and use. Paradigms of implementations include: 1, accountability; 2, inducement; 3, assistance; 4, domestic contestation and engagement; 5, compulsion; and 6, external adaptation. There is also among the promotion strategies legal instruments that's made and set in order to face the human rights abuse. Then economic actions, and we can call it also economic sanctions on the countries and governments which abuse the human rights. There is informational strategies also, and this include collecting evidence and documentation of human, apply pressure to promote human rights, educating people on the concept of human rights, and I would say raising awareness of people and generations to come about the importance of human rights. Then finally, military force, when a group of countries has to use the military intervenence in order to stop atrocities. Then the protection of the international level, we have the United Nations, Human Rights Council, United Nations treaty bodies, and international courts. International courts, of course, International Court of Justice and the International Criminal Court. But I would like to end this display, this part of my display, saying that the United Nations treaties bodies include the Human Rights Committee, the Committee on Economics, the Committee on elimination of racial discrimination. All this in this colored square shows the different committee that are working. So these are the actual output of the United Nations strategies. So I started from the philosophy, from the theoretical level up to the actual output that we should measure. But how we can measure it? This is one way to classify the output, and those committees I've already said, the UN human rights systems. Treaty-based, we have all this, or charter-based, or Human Rights Council, Universal Periodic Review, special procedures. Okay, but how to activate it? You know, the problem is we all complain in our speeches, in our theories, our reports, and our studies about the ineffectiveness of human rights all around the world, facing the great problems of the world, and the abuse of human rights everywhere and in every level, at every level. So I would like to say that we start here from this map. As you see, this is CRPD and optional protocol signature and ratifications. And it can show the primary commitment of all countries of the world to, or most countries of the world, to the United Nations in this matter, which is the human rights keeping, human rights application, applying human rights, protecting human rights. Okay, but ratification or signature or all that doesn't mean commitment. There are different levels of commitment, and that's why I would say that we have a different level of commitment in other maps that I have, but I will display later. But how to measure it? The problem of our studies, and that's what I call mind shift. Mind shift is how to apply a system, mainly visual, that can measure how far we can succeed or progress in our movement, whether for human right, social justice, development, or anything, problem solving or anything, okay? So this is very important because the verbal approach has proved to be a failure, a real failure. And I would like to suggest something that we can work on together. And we are using an RRM3 and also GPLT. The concepts, for example, here, in this part of my display, we have something called concepts in human rights, I call it rather challenges to the human rights movement, because as we displayed before, it looks like theoretically a mechanism, a system that is ideal system. But how about the challenge? First channels, the indivisibility and categorization of rights, whether we can split it into civil and political rights against economic, social, and cultural rights, or put them together. This part is affects the theoretical handling and of study and the follow-up and more of administrative, but more dangerous than that, more serious. Another discrepancy, which is universalism versus cultural relativism. Universalism versus cultural relativism. And I give example for that. The right of women to avoid or to prevent female genital cutting, or FGC, and it is spread in Africa primarily, and also in Asia and Latin America. And you see the percentage of the distribution of this habit, which is more of traditional than religious, actually. And it is no way that the universal human rights norms could be applied on this abuse. Okay.
Professor Josh, in order not to interrupt you, you have 2 minutes to go.
Okay. Challenges
you.
to the human rights movement. There is also university jurisdiction versus state sovereignty, which means intervene, how far they can intervene in the national sovereignty. State and the non-state actors. There is non-state actors like big companies, huge companies, NGOs, political parties, which go out of control from the control of the universal human right monitor or system. So when we put all of this, it should be measurable. What I've said, okay, already. It should be measurable. Otherwise, we'll be talking and complaining about it verbally without getting to anything. So I suggest a paradigm that we use in our problem solving, whatever their conflict resolution or justice or whatever, which shows the scope of problems ranging from the individual, family, then community, national, interstate, international, universal. And we apply it on this map, putting the focus of the individual on any citizen of the country and how they are affected, and the effect also as well in their turn on the higher levels. As you see here, and we can complete this in another time, there are different ways of activating a mechanism starting from the individuals, the grassroots of individuals, to the VIPs, to the NGOs, to the governmental parties, to the associations or unions of human rights, whether on the national level or the regional level or the international level. And we can set them on this in order to be measurable and distributed according to the map. In order to make it possible, we can launch awareness campaign that measurable by time and human force, and we can also select people according to their skills and availability of time and accessibility on media through the different media. So this is the way we can solve the problem that you can see here, that the world is different according to its zones of their responsiveness to the human right movement. So we can solve this problem, that discrepancy between the national level or the individual level or the community level against the universal level, which seems to be very ideal approach, but Unfortunately, it is not effective because it is just ideal, and we cannot complain about the ideals being broken by the reality, but we are trying to get closer to the reality by a measurable system and visual system that I call the mind shift that the world need in approaching this problem or any problem. Thank you very much. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you so very much, Professor George, for your profound and thoughtful presentation. It was really, really thought-provoking, especially as your wisdom and experience have challenged us to rethink our approach to human rights and inspired us to take action towards meaningful change. And I'm really, really grateful that we can have this opportunity to have somebody of your caliber with tested experience. And we are hoping that we can have a full session just with you to actually really give us these skills to be able to actualize some of the knowledge and the skills you are sharing with us today. So we are going to program something that will have just you as our main speaker so that you can have about 40 minutes to be able to really talk to us and give us every skill that we need to be relevant to the actions we have to have on the ground. And so we are appreciative of your time and invaluable contribution to this discussion of today. Please, our attendees, I'm sure we should do justice to give Professor George some flowers in the chat room, show him some love, and thank him for this worthy presentation today. And we really, really would have loved to continue listening to you, but because of time, we would definitely schedule something and listen to you better.
Thank you very much.
And straight away, we will be taking us again back to Dr. Ash Franca. There is something she had to pinpoint in her presentation. That is her PowerPoint. Let her just quickly go through in a minute 30 seconds, please, because the time we are using right now is time for general discussion. Please,
2 minutes, but excuse me, 2 minutes.
Okay.
But before showing my presentation, because I have spent hours in the night for this presentation in PowerPoint, and my speech wasn't so interesting like a presentation. I would like to present here the new ambassadors when Nikki will say, okay, Ada Rizzo e Cinzia Rota, just they want to say something later. I will share my presentation very quickly, and then 2 words for Ada Rizzo and Cinzia Rota, who wanted to attend this Zoom. Very quickly, I share my presentation now. Am I allowed? Yes. Posso condividere? Ok. Allora, my presentation today, very, very quickly, I say, eccola qua, it's President, Global Peace Let's Talk founder, and che succede qua? Very quick, without sharing all things, I have talked about this, so just to share, ecco, the most important thing that I couldn't say about the climate change and the situation of women, because women are the very victims of this system, especially the child brides. About child brides there is a phenomenon in Asia, especially in South Asia. Are in South Asia, and the situation also in Africa. Situation in Africa. Così via. And the situation of women in Africa. I don't speak because no time. So just to show you at the system, the AI, the problem of the intelligence, artificial intelligence, we are slaves now. So I just wanted to show very quickly without speaking, to leave a place to other people, okay? Just this, not nothing else. Ok, interrompi condivisione. I say stop because I leave time to they want to speak. Maybe can I there is Ada Rizzo e Cinzia Rota. I ask Ross, can they speak?
Getting you, Dr. Ash. Yeah, are you done, right? Are you done now, Dr. Franca? Are you done now, Dr. Franca?
I don't know.
Are you done with your presentation?
Finished? Hai finito?
Sì, ho fatto veloce. I did quickly. Velocissima.
Right.
Very quickly because I respect other people. So there is Ada who has prepared something. Cinzia prepared. I don't want to...
Can I just go on to the next item on the program? We have just about 7 minutes to go. Thank you very much for understanding, Dr. Ash Franca. And a heartfelt thanks to all of you, Dr. Ash Franca, Israel, Ms. Dinah, Reverend you, Ms. Martha, and Professor George. I must say your presentations have been insightful and powerful reflections on the various aspects of social justice. And we do not undermine your expertise, your experiences, and thought-provoking discussions that have enriched our understanding and inspired us to take action in our own spheres of influence. And so we deeply appreciate your time, dedication, and passion for building a more just and peaceful world. So at this point in time, we are now opening the floor for our feedback session, a space for questions, a space for contributions and reflections on your various presentations. And so let us engage in meaningful dialogue and explore practical steps we can take in our respective countries and communities to advance social justice. So we are giving these few minutes for anyone in the platform. We are over 31, we were over 41 in the entire event. So if we still have 31 right now, we are so thankful that at least your patience is paying off. And so please, if you actually want to say something or to ask a question to any of our speakers, just click the raise your hand button and you'll be given the opportunity to speak. So we welcome any questions, any contributions. Can you click the raise your hand button and you'll be given the opportunity to speak. While we wait for anyone who needs to speak, can we use this opportunity to activate our cameras so that our technical team can take some pictures to immortalize this day? So please kindly activate your camera so that we can be able to take some few pictures. While we wait for anyone who wants to speak to click the raise your hand button and he or she will be given the opportunity to speak or maybe to say one or two things about the presentation. So if your camera is on, then our technical team, Joseph, Didan, Martin, please can you do us some justice to take some pictures?
Can I speak?
Okay, Miss Dinah, if you want to, it's okay, Rizzo. If you want to speak, just write on. We'll be taking the pictures as you speak. Okay. The floor is yours. All right.
Can I?
Yeah, right on.
Good evening
right
to
on.
all. It's a great
Good evening. Yeah.
Yes. Can I?
Occasion on February.
Well.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you write on, Miss Rizzo?
I repeat.
Yeah, you can repeat your contribution, please.
Okay. I'm very, very happy to be here and in this especially day in which we celebrate the Day of Social Justice. I thank to Dr. Nikki DePina, founder and president of Global Peace Let's Talk, inviting me, and then Dr. George Onsi, president of RRM3, Franca Colozzo, CEO of RRM3, and all of you present for your tireless commitment to promoting peace and social justice globally. My name, as Franca told, is Ada Rizzo. I'm involved in writing, poetry, and cultural promotion. Additionally, I work as a counselor and spend 6 months a year in Kenya, like volunteer with my husband, and engage in volunteer activities to support educational, health, and food projects for local communities in Kilifi County. Volunteer work confronts me daily with the challenges that many people in vulnerable contexts face and motivates me to work towards social justice. Today, as we celebrate World Day of Social Justice, it is essential to reflect on the profound meaning of the concept. Social justice is not only an ideal, but an imperative necessity. It involves a fair distribution of resources and opportunities, ensuring that every individual, regardless of their social, ethnic, economic, or gender background, can exercise their right and access essential goods and services. It's based on principle of equity, equality, and respect for human rights. At a global level, and particularly in Africa, the issue of social justice faces multiple challenges. Poverty, discrimination, and human rights violation continue to impact the most vulnerable groups, such as women, children, and ethnic minorities. These issues are not just statistics, but daily realities. They require our attention and commitment. Volunteer can have an extraordinary impact on promoting social justice. Through voluntary work, we can raise awareness in communities, support vulnerable groups, and promote empowerment. Every small gesture counts. Every action can contribute to improving the living condition of those in need. Promoting social justice requires a multidimensional and collaborative approach. I firmly believe engage on various. Okay.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rizzo. Thank you so very much. Thank you. We are grateful to hear what you've been able to do so far. And we still have another hand that is up. Let's listen to those who have been listening to us so that we can be able to have a swell time here. Let them give us feedback about what they've been able to hear from all our distinguished speakers. Can we hear from Tariq in a minute, please? Thank you.
Rose.
Thank you to all.
Let's hear from Tariq. Tariq has the floor. Thank you.
Greetings from Antalya, Turkey. I'm delighted, of course, to have joined you, and I would like to mention the pleasant fact that just about a week ago, I was in Cairo, and my dear friend, Professor George Onsi, and we got together, and it was a very enlightening conversation for me. We are together, and will this be available on YouTube with this meeting, or the minutes, or a summary?
It will be. It will be available.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
Some words, I mean, important words, such as social justice, unless we try to define it relatively, can be used by anyone, even by the Taliban. If you ask a Taliban member, are you in favor of social justice, or are you against it? They will say, of course, we're in favor of social justice. When we talk about, for example, peace, who doesn't want peace, etc. But focusing on concepts and interrelations, such as you have done today, especially George, I want to say, showing the interactions and shedding light on paths is very important. And this one of the difficult points is the mental part. Each day, lots of things come, especially as people who are open to the world, as people who want to be concerned. We are under the bombardment of various difficulties and problems. And then each day we have to reprioritize our efforts. And as we think, we try to be fair socially in our minds, and it is our conscience at that moment that observes what we are thinking and what kind of choices we make. It's an ethical thing. Nobody else can know that. Only each of us, the person, knows. It is not an easy thing. It's easier said than done. And I keep trying to improve myself. I do not find myself good enough. It is like torture sometimes to not feeling sufficient, whereas you want to do so many things. That's just, I wanted to share one of my weak points. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you so very much, Tariq. We are grateful to hear from you. And just to indicate that we have the Chief Executive of the Global Peace Let's Talk, and it's actually something like a big honor to have her in our midst to actually say some few remarks in connection to all the speakers and to all what all of you have been able to chip in as feedback regarding this celebration of today and what we can do back in our different countries and communities. So if we have Dr. Nikki, Dr. Nikki is the Chief Executive Officer of the Global Peace Let's Talk. We definitely will be having her in a couple of minutes, but just to indicate that Reverend Yu says there are 3 new guests whom he invited for this event: Dr. Bada Moni, Professor Kudrat, and Augustina from Pakistan. And we also we also have Dr. Bada, who says all the speakers delivered beautiful thoughts, and we should adopt positive measures to implement all these recommendations. we definitely will see into it and see how we can be able to connect to another similar events that will have us share in detail further steps that can help us enhance social justice in our different communities. So let's have Dr. Nikki of the Global Peace Let's Talk, a household name, to come and give us the closing remarks. Thank you very much, everyone, for being so patient and an engaging and active audience. And of course, a big flower to all our speakers. Dr. Nikki, the floor is yours. Can we have Dr. Nikki Pina, please? We can hear you. We can hear you, Dr. Nikki. Just speak, please.
Talk, Nikki.
Hello, you can hear me now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, but my sound just disappeared. So our time is very limited. So I'm just going to share this, that huge respect for our speakers today and your passion for peace. And the ideas that you are introducing in communities and internationally, you really are absolutely phenomenal. My utmost respect to all of you. It's a privilege for us, for Global Peace Let's Talk, to have you on this platform. So what we're going to do, because of the time limit, some of you couldn't do your whole presentation. So as Rose said earlier, we're going to look at how to assist so we can give you a session that will be on your own to continue what it is that you shared today, because all of you added such value. So please don't be concerned. We know that you needed more time, and Rose will make a plan and set up a space, a Zoom, so that you can complete your presentation, because it's important. And all of you put a lot of effort into that, and we understand that. But what I want to say is to all the visitors that attended today, making an effort to join our speakers, thank you so much. We love you. Global Peace Let's Talk really has this amazing way of just our members of sharing love and respect, specifically to people who are supporting and influencing change in the world. Rosalind, thank you. How much you know, how much we appreciate you. You are just such an outstanding leader when we do the Zooms. So please always continue. To the organizers, to Joseph that's running the Zoom for us, and to Amandi, whose idea this was, thank you so much. To the whole team, thank you so much. God bless everyone. So let's get some photos, and then we're going to be busy. The communication team are busy planning the forthcoming events, and you will all be part of that. That's our promise. Thank you.
Can we activate our cameras, our microphones? The event has officially come to an end after listening to Dr. Nikki. This event of today has officially come to an end. So you can unmute your microphone, you can say hello, you can give a shout out to anyone, and of course, activate your cameras. We've already taken pictures a couple of minutes ago. we can still take more. So thank you very much, everyone. It's been a swell time with you. We are so grateful, and hopefully we are going to organize similar events so that we can continue what we started today.
Yes,
Thank you so much, Professor George, Israel, Miss Martha, Dr. Ash, and of course, Miss Dinah. You've been so amazing today. We are so grateful. We do not take it for granted. And to all the over 42 attendees that took part in today's event, we are really appreciative of your patience, of your time, and of your contributions. Even in the chat box, you were so active. We are so grateful. So thank you very much. And God willing, we will be meeting in a couple of days ahead so that we can continue conversations to foster global peace, inclusion, and of course, social justice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, and
Bye.
from Bangladesh. Hello.
Excuse me.